Okay, MB Moose Lover here with another installment of my Winter Bird Feeder 2026 series. This one's called the Green Bough Grouse Eatery. And this is one of my 3 gray squirrels here that are always scaring all the birds and chasing each other all over. Chasing the red squirrels, and he's going to lead us on a little trip here up and down and around, and lead us to the Green Bough Grouse Eatery. And it was just a little setup that I fixed up to give the grouse a place to come and kind of eat some birdseed without and that way I put it on the ground that the deer don't come in and clean it up. And because they are coming in underneath the feeders sometimes and cleaning up the stuff that the birds are spilling out of the feeders. And but I just didn't want them hanging around all the time because they keep scaring the birds, and I don't want them to get dependent on thinking they're going to be fed here all the time, the deer. So anyway, I just rigged this up here. I had a picnic table here that in my backyard, so I just rigged it up as a little feed station for the grouse, and I've had 3 of them. I've only had there was a couple that were coming there, and they have been around for a bit, but the one has been by itself. I think it's a female, a hen grouse, I think, based on her colors. And she's pretty well coming steady here now. So there it is. There's the Green Bough Grouse Eatery. And I put some boughs over it to keep the deer from kind of sticking their heads in around and trying to get at the feed. And it's worked pretty good so far. And I got a pile of feed under there. I did have a cat litter tub underneath of it there to put the seed in, but I just figured that it would scare the grouse more, and it didn't really seem that interested in eating out of it. So and here's a gray squirrel under there. He's under there a lot, but grouse doesn't seem to mind him too much. He just kind of comes in and doesn't pay attention to him. We get some evening grosbeaks here. I don't have a whole lot of birds coming yet. Some, I've seen there was about 24 of these here yesterday, and I counted them. I haven't got a lot of video of them. I've taken a lot of video, but a lot of it didn't work out very well because I'm filming through an open window and getting heat waves, from the house, the heat from the house going out through the window and making it all wavy. And this here, when I filmed them, it was actually the rain dripping off the roof. So I'm trying to rig it up a place where I can kind of have a blind there to film outside and get some better footage of them. There's a little bit of footage here and and amongst this grouse footage here. There's just a few times that she's been in, and I don't even remember which video is the first one. And the first one I had, it was in another video that I did when I finally got her to come in, and I had a litter box there, a plastic litter box that she was feeding right around the edges of it. But since then, she just comes in and eats the pile underneath of it here. And since I put the boughs on it, she's been there at least 3 or 4 times, a couple times a day. She was there yesterday, I think, once, and then the day before a couple of times. And she goes right to town. She's going to fill her crop up, and then she don't stay very long when she's there. And you can miss her if you're not paying attention. You're not looking out the window and keeping an eye for her. I've just caught her when she's leaving, and I try to keep an eye out to get a little film here. I was just trying to get some film, and then kind of, I didn't want to keep filming her forever here, but and she'll come in, and I like to get the 3 of them together. She'll pick around there. She's, easy pickings for her. And she was just getting little seeds off of the snow here before that. And like I said, these grouse kind of stay in this little thicket right here behind my back lawn. They've always kind of done a few partridge there. and then when they start showing up after I put these feeders here, I thought I'll see, she was picking around, and I just kind of put the feed in her way so she'd kind of see it, the seed, but she was getting the little seeds off of the birch trees that when they're kind of pollinating, they have these little hanging fronds that release seeds, and in the spring and or early winter, whatever. And there's a pine grosbeak there. Male and female. And I've got a few of these, not that many of them. There might be 3 or 4 of them. There's a red-headed woodpecker. I think it's a red-headed woodpecker. Or it's a red-bellied woodpecker. I'm not very good on my birds, but this didn't turn out too bad, this footage here. It wasn't as wavy as some of it. I filmed out the window, and once I get outside and do some filming, it'll be better. Now there she goes. She's leaving, and when she gets ready to go, she goes quick. And then now she's back there again. It's a different day or a different time, anyway, incident, and like I said, I don't know the order of these when she came in, but the way I'd filmed them, but I think they were pretty much in order the way I was taking them off my file, but I don't know how many days in between and different things like that. All I know is she was there about a half a dozen times. And I haven't seen the other 2, since I originally filmed them, and that was before I had any feed right here for them. Originally she was coming right out under the bird feeders and picking. And there she's going to go again. And the interesting thing is that I found out that she was, a few times she was, like, you could see her kind of go off, and, out of sight. But where she's heading here right now, she's going to fly up into a couple of these spruce trees. And that's what she was doing. She was going up into this little clump of, spruce trees that are only about maybe, 20 feet high or so. And they're right close together, and she's going up in there and basically resting in there, sleeping in there after she's eating, and then she just come back down and then go get some more food. And she set up shop right near the Eatery, so she don't have very far to go. And I've seen her fly up there at least twice and maybe 3 times. And at the end of this video, I kind of got her flying. Like I said, you can't see very good because it's a thicket there, and but she braces her, gets herself all ready, and then she basically flies straight up, and I slowed it down so you can see she's going right up into these spruce trees, and they're really close together, so I imagine get overlapping branches, and then she can get in there and find a pretty secure spot to rest and sleep and out of the wind. And a few more birds there. There's some chickadees, and you got some goldfinches, I think, and that's what those are, is American goldfinches, I think. I don't know, like I said, I'm not very good at my birds, but I keep looking at the pictures, and then I go back and I can't remember the names. I just know that's a grouse. A ruffed grouse. The happy ruffed grouse there. She's pretty well got her winter set. She don't have to fly up in the trees and eat buds or anything. And she's getting ready to leave again. And I think this is the time. Maybe not. Maybe this time she goes off here. We'll find out here anyway. She's heading down in towards that thicket. But I thought that she went on out onto that snow patch in behind. Yeah, she's going in behind and then back around to the right. And She's probably got some place over there that she's getting into, some of a place where she can sleep, rest, whatever. Now, they were resting right here on the other video that I did. If you watch it, you can. I had the two of them there at once, and they're right there with their breasts all just puffed right out, and that's what they do. They have air pockets, and they can make air pockets by puffing their breast out to keep themselves warm. It makes air between their feathers, and both of them were just like footballs, just right out, puffy, and just sitting there digesting their food, and then go back to feeding again on bird seed. So what a life! These birds are so pretty, and like I said, I got quite a few of them coming here now. They're so skittish. They come in and then they get spooked so easy. If a squirrel moves real quick or a blue jay flies over onto the feeder, it's discouraging because they just get there, and then and what they do is these birds will come in and land in these great big tall birches around the edge and kind of wait for see if it's safe to come in, and then they finally, by the time they all work their way down to the feeders, like I said, they usually get spooked and then they start all over again. Okay, so this is it right here. This is the grouse. She's just left the eatery, and she's gonna fly up into this little thicket of spruce trees here. And she's just gonna go up and then have a little nap and then go back to the eatery later. And this is MB Moose Lover later.